Hi, my name is Jake and I'm a motion designer from Ukraine.
And now we will make this effect. But first, I want to tell you about my own wedding template. It's a sweet template with 12 wedding titles. This project has pre-made slideshow which supports photo or video footage. As also, it already includes light leaks and light leaks transitions. If you'll write me to my email, which you can see on screen right now, I'll make 25% discount for you, as a bonus for subscribers of my channel. If you want to support my channel to keep getting free tutorials like this, you can also check and purchase other templates, which I have in my portfolio. Even if you will just click around my templates, it could help as well. And if you'll decide to purchase any of my projects, it will definitely help me to keep making YouTube videos full time. I don't have merch to sell, so it's the only way to support my channel. It would be awesome if you'll check first links in description. And now,
let's get started.
I am using Adobe After Effects CC 2015. This footage you will find in description below, so let's drag and drop on this icon here to create new composition. So here's our footage. Let's cut to this moment to work with this area. And about here, let's drag and drop this second footage. So basically this effect we will replicate. I already included this footage here, where I already completed the effect. So it would be faster for you to create your own effects. I thought it will be helpful. So let's make this effect on our hand. First we will need key light. Just drag and drop on our footage here. Let's set to this green color with this color picker. Let's close it here and solo this layer. So now using pen tool, we can cut out our hand just like this, just close to the wrist here, and press F on keyboard to see our feather. I'll set mine to 175. Let's adjust our mask. Let's change color of the mask to this blue color here, so it would be more visible. Now let's select pen tool and cut this garbage mask. And let's set this mask to subtract. Now let's unsolo this layer to see our result. And now we can select this pen behind tool to grab this anchor point and move it over here. Then press S on keyboard to see our scale. I'll set mine to 46. And also hold shift on keyboard and press R to see our rotation. I'll set to about 27. We are trying to match our hand to our thumb. Let's move it to our finger and keep adjusting so it would just look fine. Then press P on keyboard about here. Let's set a keyframe by clicking on this stopwatch here and just basically track our hand. Move few frames and using arrow keys just move it over to our finger. Let's also change the scale and keep adjusting to track our finger. We can also set a keyframe to our scale, and about here let's make it bigger. Okay, it looks good. Let's also add some blur. I'll add fast blur, just drag and drop on our footage, and also curves, also drop on our footage. Let's set a keyframe here, and at the beginning of the layer let's blur it out. I'll set my value to 99 and set a keyframe to curves. Also press U on keyboard to see all keyframes and drag it over here. Now make this curve here. Basically we are trying to color correct our hand to match our finger better. So in RGB channel let's make this curve. In red channel let's make this curve. And maybe let's add some blur. And change scale to a bit smaller value. And now let's animate our opacity. Here let's set it to 100 and set a keyframe, and about here to 0 at the beginning of our layer, so we would have this kind of transition. Let's maybe move our keyframes of the blur and opacity about here and just keep adjusting the curves to match our scene better. I think it looks good. As you can see, these fingers here was made with this technique as well. If you look closely, you'll see that I've used also blur and opacity to make this kind of transition. Now let's animate our scale. Select this keyframe here, press F9 on keyboard Then about here, let's change our scale to 57 to make it a lot bigger. Then select position, this keyframe here, and press F9 on keyboard. And about here, let's move it over, like this hand is growing out of my finger. Now let's go to Effects and Presets and apply Mesh Warp. Just drag and drop on our layer. We will set our rows and columns to 2, so we would have less details. Then here, let's set a keyframe by clicking on this stopwatch. And at the end of the layer, let's make few adjustments. So now you can just grab these points and fit our hand closely to our finger. You can play around with this to get the look which you want. Now let's preview this. As you can see, now we have this growing motion, which looks good. As you can see, for the tutorial, I've just stopped motion of my hand, so I wouldn't have to track my finger, but you will have to track your finger as long as you need. Also, you can drag and drop our BG composition on this icon here to create new composition. Here we can cut this layer at this moment. Just press Ctrl-Shift-D on keyboard to cut it. And now we can animate our scale. Just press S on keyboard to see our scale. Then let's click on this stopwatch to create a keyframe. Then choose this pan behind tool here and move anchor point to our hand, just about here. And at the end of our layer, let's set scale to 114. Let's preview this. And now, as you can see, we have this zoom in effect. You can also go to Layer, Solid, Adjustment Layer. Then go to Effects and Presets, apply effect called Transform. Just drag and drop on our adjustment layer. Let's cut it to this moment. And here at scale, let's set it to 105. Then hold Alt key on keyboard and click on this rotation stopwatch. We can now write expression. Just type in wiggle, open bracket, 2, comma, 0.5, close bracket. Then hold Alt key on keyboard and press on position stopwatch and type in wiggle, open bracket, 3, comma, 10, close bracket. So with the first value, we are changing frequency of our camera shake, and second value is the amount of our shake. Just play around with these values to get the look which you want.
Make sure to subscribe to see more. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.